it finally happened. The series finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi has finally dropped on Disney Plus, and for the first time ever, at least in my opinion, Disney Plus has had a show actually stick its landing. As you can probably tell, I like this episode. I've liked this entire series so far, except for episode 4, which was a major step down for me. But otherwise, this episode has hit the mark just like all the other ones. I quite enjoyed this episode. It's full of great character moments. It has great action, and it sets up, the continuation of the Star Wars saga in terms of the timeline, right? This takes place before A New Hope and after Revenge of the Sith, right? So there's a lot of stuff that they had to make sure made sense, because going into episode 4, all that stuff needs to make sense, right, in order for it to not break canon. And in my opinion, I think they did a good job with that. That was one of the it's probably the most concerning thing for me with this series, is that they're going to slip up and it's going to break canon. And for the most part, I think they did a good job. There was like one little detail I think that might not hold well, but I'll talk about that in spoiler talk. But as of an episode, it was great. Again, great character stuff, great action. It's a good story. It wrapped up everything that we've had for this whole 6-part series. And it stuck the landing for me. That's not something that the Disney Plus shows have really done for the most part. And they finally did it. But yeah, so those are just my non-spoiler thoughts. So now we're going to go ahead and talk some spoilers. So if you have not seen the episode yet, go watch that. Come back here. We can talk about some spoilers together. And then until then, I will see you later. But we're now going to talk about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about that Darth Vader fight. Now, first off, this was the more concerning part for me going into the show, is that obviously you're going to have Vader and Obi-Wan fight, because you just want to see that, right? The problem is I rewatched episode 4 very recently. I actually watched the first 6 with my girlfriend, who had never seen them, so I have very fresh, eyes on these movies, especially episode 4. And, Vader says, last time we met or whatever, I was but a learner, now I am the master. That is meant to imply episode 3, right? Revenge of the Sith. But now we've got Vader fighting Obi-Wan. And while it was awesome, the fight was cool, the many different battles they've had this whole series have been cool, it's been concerning because, we've been introduced to Vader now as he is a master, right? He's no longer a learner. But they did something in this episode. They had Obi-Wan beat Vader. And so Vader is still not the master, right? He's still not good enough to beat Obi-Wan. And there was that wonderful, wonderful line from Vader saying, I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. You did not kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. That was awesome. But it also ties back into episode 4, A New Hope, when it says, Anakin, your father's name was Anakin Skywalker. He was killed by a Jedi named Darth Vader. Right? And that just really emphasizes the fact that Vader killed Anakin. It wasn't Obi-Wan who killed Anakin and Vader took over. No, Vader killed Anakin. I thought that was awesome. It was a great line, too, because you could just see Obi-Wan's face. He's on the brink of tears when he says, I'm sorry, right? And seeing Hayden Christensen's just very angry eye, great scene, great dialogue. which, you're not really used to with these two characters, at least these two iterations of these characters, because the prequels don't really have great dialogue. But in this case, I thought it was awesome. The fight was great. Vader lets Obi-Wan. Well, he doesn't really let Obi-Wan leave. He's defeated, and Obi-Wan leaves. He goes, "Goodbye, Darth." He doesn't say Anakin anymore. It's Darth, right? So that sets up, what's coming. In that, the last time we met, I was but a learner. Now I am the master, and we're gonna have the eventual death of Obi-Wan, right? Or surrender of Obi-Wan, really, than anything else. But yeah, so that was a wonderful, wonderful scene. Another thing I was worried about, not as much because it wasn't that big of a deal, but Luke, right? He's supposed to never have seen a lightsaber or hear of the Force or anything. It leads you in a situation where you think going into this episode that the whole final battle is going to be on Tatooine and Luke is going to see these lightsabers and stuff. Thankfully, we didn't really get that. I don't think he actually saw a lightsaber, even though Reva, what's the word I'm looking for here? Ignites her lightsaber, and he's knocked out. But she did use the Force to make him fall, so I'm wondering if he just thinks he fell, like he just got unbalanced or something. I don't know. A little nitpick, really. But Reva, I thought her story was great. I thought, last episode with her, trying to kill Darth Vader, which we knew it wasn't going to work, right? Because Vader goes on 3 more movies. But just her internal struggle of failure, right? Her whole mission was, I'm going to finish him because he killed all my family. And then her looking at young Luke passed out there. She's about to kill him. And she sees her young self. And she knows this is exactly what I was trying to destroy. You've become the very thing you swore to destroy, right? I thought that was great. And it was real full circle for her character. I thought she was truly going to die in this episode because, we never see or hear from her again. Maybe we do at some point. I don't know. Maybe we see her in the Andor series, actually. Now that I think about it. That's a possibility. But, in her acting, especially in that scene where she sits there just crying, I felt a lot of emotion. And that's not something that we were really getting from her character before. It was very one note, But wonderful performance from her. I mean, everybody was great in this episode. Ewan McGregor, as always, he is wonderful as Obi-Wan. Hayden Christensen, he killed it as Vader this time. It was terrifying. I mean, the way they did the whole voice thing with this, helmet being cut in half and whatnot. It had kind of switched in and out of his voice and the Vader voice. Spectacular stuff, truly. Leia. Going into this, I wasn't really excited about the Leia character. At least when I first saw her. I grew to really like her character, and I have to say, she is probably one of the best parts of this show. I mean, she just kills it as Leia. This little girl is, she is Carrie Fisher incarnate right there. And I'm sad that we're not going to see a 10-year-old Leia anymore. I also feel bad about her family. That whole planet's gone. But anyway, those are just my thoughts on the series finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I hope you've seen the episode, since we just talked about spoilers. But if you've seen the episode, go ahead and tell me in the comment section down below what you thought of the episode and of the series as a whole. I quite enjoyed it. I know it's kind of divisive among fans, but for me personally, I quite enjoyed it. Leave a like on this video for more content like this. I obviously am not going to be doing any more Obi-Wan videos, but there's plenty more videos for you to watch. Subscribe as always, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.